Hello, hello, hello. Today I'm talking to you about the number one thing that you can do in order to have a better relationship. So, this is the time after COVID-19, and very many people are challenged. Okay,
Hello,
we're all
hello, hello.
fighting with each other.
Today I'm
and
talking to you about the number one.
challenged by all sorts of things that life is throwing at us. And because of all this COVID-19 and the masks and the friction and the excitement, it's causing us to start to turn on each other. Okay, so some of us are having problems with our moms and with our dads and with our boyfriends and with our girlfriends and our husbands and our wives. Well, today I'm here to tell you the number one secret that you can use in order to fix all of those relationships. There is a way of fixing all those relationships. And today I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do it. So, step number one is to make a decision. All right, make a decision that this relationship is valuable to you and that you do not want to just be done with it. Okay, so if it's a relationship that's not that relevant, it's just some Joe Schmo down the block and you really don't need them and you're never going to need them, okay, fine. But if this is a relationship that you have decided needs to continue in a positive vein, then this is one of the things that you need to do. You need to use this word kaidir, okay? Kaidir is the original word for decision. And kaidir means to cut. That means you cut off all other options, okay? So when you decide that this relationship is essential and you will make it work, you cut off all the other options. So my daughter has a way of saying to me and laughing, she's like, when I get into that place, I go, oh, I can't. Okay, so I can. I can make this relationship work. So emotions are the reasons why these relationships are challenged. After the age of 35, we're making decisions based on, 90% of our decisions are based on things that have already happened in the past. So you're not actually making a response to your son or to your daughter based on what she said today or based on what you heard today. And your son or your daughter is not making a decision or responding to you based on what you said today. They're responding based on the past, based on that history, based on all the angst that has been stored up about that relationship back there. So it's very hard to say something today that's going to offset all of that, because statistics have shown us that we are not thinking rationally. We're thinking with our emotions. Okay, so some people talk about the spirit. Some people call it different things, but basically it's our emotions. So we cannot, rule number one, we cannot control what we think or what we feel. We cannot control our emotions. If we feel happy, we feel sad, those are emotions. However, we can control how we respond and how we react. So it leads me to secret number one in terms of how we make our relationships better. So we decide on what to focus on, guys. Remember, I've told you several times before, what we focus on grows. So if we focus on the fact that this relationship is insurmountable, oh, I can't, and we've got all that drama and emotion involved with it, then guess what? We're right. You're absolutely right. It's too much. But if we decide that we're going to focus on the good, the pure, the clean, the things that we do get along well with in that relationship, then those are the things that will grow and those are the things that will expand. So a daughter and a mother are together. And ever since the mother has been with this daughter, they had a great relationship, but then the daughter left for college. And then she began to see a whole new world. She began to become exposed to all these different things. So when she came back to the small town where her mom lived and that small space in which the mother lived, they didn't get along anymore because she didn't think the way the mother thought anymore. They couldn't relate on many of the issues anymore. They thought differently. So the daughter decided, she made a decision that she was going to cut off all the other options and begin working with her mom. And so the first thing she did is start calling her mother. She started calling her on her calendar. She put it, and she allowed her phone to ring when she needed to call her mom. Okay, so it was a regular thing. And her decision was, when she called the mom, she wasn't going to talk about the issue or the problem or the challenge. She was going to talk about what worked. Okay, she was going to talk about what made the two of them happy. That one area, even if it's just a sliver, even if it's just a one area that the two of you have in common, that's the area that she wanted to discuss. And little by little, it began to grow and grow and grow. Before they knew it, they began to have a reasonable conversation. They began to be able to flow together. And the mom said one day, wow, I really feel like you understand me. Everybody wants to be understood and heard, okay? Even the biggest, most powerful, most successful person. I worked for a person who was a graduate of Harvard, okay? He was a major, powerful elected official. He had worked and done amazing things and had a huge corporation, okay? But every time he got up to speak and he said something and I was there with him, he would say, how was that? And I say, oh, it was great. And he felt great. I've heard Oprah Winfrey say that everybody that sat in her chair across from her, including President Barack Obama, including Beyonce, including, who else did she mention? Several other people. When the recording was over, after they finished talking, they leaned in and they said, how was that? Everybody wants to know that they're heard and that they're understood. So you're butting heads with that person. And all that person wants is to be heard and understood, okay? Like I said, statistics show that after the age of 35, you're not responding based on what's happening. You're on autopilot. You're responding based on your past situations, past hurts, past pains. So how are we going to resolve that? Well, first, decide that we're going to focus on the good, the pure, and the clean. We're going to focus on that one sliver that we do have in common and begin to move forward in that area. And another thing we're going to do is focus on the fact that we have decided not to quit the relationship. So many people have quit the relationship. All right. And they've missed out on promotions. They've missed out on moving forward in their life. They've missed out on their true destiny because they quit because of that relationship. Everybody that moves forward and moves up, 9 times out of 10, it's because of a relationship that they had. Many people say, well, how did you get to go to the inauguration, Arlene? How did you get to move up and become a CEO of a corporation? Well, relationships. How did you get recruited? When I got recruited for the Chamber of Commerce position, somebody in the room knew who I was in order to put my name in the hat, right? Somebody knew about the job and put my name in the hat. So they were able to help me to move forward based on the relationship. So a lot of you think of God and you're praying to God and you're praying to the universe and you're saying, oh, I want these things to manifest. I want great things to happen for me. Well, how do these great things manifest? People, relationships. So I want you to stop for a minute and think, what relationship am I operating in right now that I need to make a different decision about? Is there a relationship that I'm in or I'd like to be in, whether with my husband or with my wife or with my brother or my sister or my uncle or my dad or my boss, in which I need to make another decision? Make a decision today. Okay, there are so many things that I could say about this thing, but the number one thing is to make a decision to make it work, make a decision not to quit, and sometimes make a decision to wait and see. Make a decision to wait and see. So it's a boss that's giving you a hard time and you're thinking about making that long-term decision, which is to quit the job based on this temporary circumstance. So we don't make long-term decisions based on temporary circumstances because the circumstances can change. So very many people sat through COVID and they decided, oh, I'm going to get married because of that temporary situation where they were stuck in the house and there was nobody else to communicate with other than that other person. So now they want to marry them. Or they decided not to be with that person anymore because it was COVID and they felt stuck in the house with that one person. And so they decided to get a divorce. Don't make long-term decisions. I'm going to cut this person off. I'm going to move forward and not talk to them anymore based on temporary circumstances. Sometimes we need to decide to just wait and see. Okay? Ride the wave. Go through the process. Remember, every relationship that we experience is for a reason. There's something we need to learn. There's something we need to grow. And stop thinking about it as them and begin thinking about how we are going to change, how we're going to grow, how we're going to change in order to accommodate this relationship. So I'll give you a quick story. I went to Lake Tahoe and learned how to ski because I had a boss who loved skiing and loved to talk about skiing. So whenever they would talk in the office about skiing, I had nothing to say because I'd never been skiing. So I made up in my mind to go skiing. I went to one of the best ski resorts. And now when they discussed it, was one of the group. I began to gain promotions in that office because I could sit on the side and talk with my boss about skiing. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but that's how relationships are. We find the connecting factors. We find the thing that works with that person and allow that thing to be focused on, and that's what will grow. So every time they think of you, instead of thinking that, oh, about that nasty conversation that you've had or thinking about the argument that you consistently have, they're now thinking about that one area that illuminates them, that lights them up, that makes them feel great. And when they think of you, they feel great, okay? Thinking the thought, feeling great, you are the connection between the two. And that's what we want in relationships, okay? Because in order to move forward, get unstuck, live our best lives, we're going to need people to do it. So here's the book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck After COVID-19, and Living Our Best Lives. Secret number 1 is that we have to cultivate better relationships, okay, with people. It's not like we just, it's not like God just pops things out of the sky, but it's that we have to develop relationships. So I know people are watching and they're on with me. And I love when you're on with me to say something, say hello, greet me, ask me a question so that I can go in further depth. But this thing of relationships is everything. That's the secret sauce, okay? Another thing that you need to do is to decide how you respond. Decide how you react to situations, okay? Not just what you focus on, but how you respond. Are you gonna yell? Are you gonna scream? Are you gonna lose it? Are you gonna give up? We can always decide how we react, okay? And sometimes people have said, oh, well, Arlene, you're reacting too mildly or calmly to this particular situation. But sometimes that's what's called for, because we need to continue to meld relationships and we need to work together. There is no such thing as success without relationships, okay? But the people who are the most successful are the people who have learned how to build great, lasting relationships, okay? Those are the presidents of the United States. Those are the CEOs of companies. As a matter of fact, if you think of any of the CEOs, and right now I'm thinking of the Apple gentleman, he was able to form relationships with others and convince people to buy a computer that hadn't even been put on the market. But that's how he got the investors. The people had to have invested in his concept before it was even on the market. We think of not Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, but the gentleman who started Amazon. He got a group of 50 people in a room and asked all of his friends and family of the 50 people to give him $50,000 to start this company. So he had to convince them. He had to have these relationships ahead of time with people who had funds. And then he had to use those relationships to give him the funds to be able to move forward. Okay, so everybody who's been successful has been successful based on relationships. Okay, even your instructors, if you're in school and you're a student, you're going to do better based on the relationships that you have with your instructors. If they like you, if they feel that you're a hard worker, they're gonna give you better grades than if they feel like you're a slacker, okay? Or if they don't like you. Every time there's an opportunity to give in or to give you some extra, they're gonna take it. They're gonna give it to you because of the relationship, all right? So decide. There are difficult people. I'm not saying there are not difficult people. And sometimes the people are wrong. Sometimes the people have done things that they should not have done. But we can spend the time focused on that, in which case it's going to grow and get bigger and bigger. Or we can spend the time focused on that one area that we do like. That one area, because sometimes it's only one area. Let's say you hate everything else about them, but there's that one thing that they do really well. Okay? Focus on that. Like I said, if it's your boss, you're going to make sure that you have time in the day where you're just talking to your boss about that thing, okay? You're having a personal relationship with your boss. Whenever we have business meetings, they call it, I'm not even going to say what it's called, but you usually have some sort of small talk, okay? Or they say the soft skills before you discuss the business. And so the idea is that you're developing that relationship. If they like you, then they're more inclined to listen to what you have to say. They say within the first 3 minutes, if you're on an interview, they've already decided whether or not they're going to hire you, whether or not they like you. first 3 minutes. Okay? That means all they're doing is able to see you, evaluate up and down. You've opened your mouth, you've said a few words, and they've already decided, okay, based on the relationship that they feel they have with you. Now, remember, this is another secret. People like people who are like them. So you're going to talk about things that that person likes, that that person is interested in. So sometimes you have to find something that that person is interested in that you're also interested in. So in politics, I used to have to sit and listen to people, and I did it wrong because I would sit and listen, and they would mistake my listening for my being interested. And because I was a nice person, I would continue to sit and listen, as opposed to what I had learned since then and learned along the journey is find something that they're talking about, that they're interested in, that I'm also interested in. So it's not so torturous for you, okay? It's not torturous for you to sit and listen to them and have a relationship with them. Find that one area and move forward in that one area. Okay, thank you so much for spending the time. I'm gonna have another show, and I'm gonna see you this evening at 7 o'clock. Look forward to talking with you this evening at 7 o'clock. Go to www.askarleneshow.com, and you can share any questions that you have there. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, so that you can get all of our upcoming television shows, and as well as interviews with other guests. All right, and we did a really good interview just recently with a lady who doesn't just help people to write books, because I help people to write books as well, but she helps people to write bestsellers. Okay, so look out for that video as well. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'm gonna see you later on today, and we'll talk to you about some more secrets, tools, tips, and techniques on how to win at the game of life, to overcome your fears, get unstuck, and live your best life after COVID-19. Go to www.askarleneshow.com again and click on the link and get your book. And also we have a free program. It's called a 3-step 5-day program to winning at the game of life, you know, and just learning to live your best life. Click on that link as well and take the free program, take the free course and get started. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.